Guys, I know you've been wondering, who did I pick for my Madden 17 connected franchise mode? And I will tell you the team I picked in just a little bit, but I was torn between what I should do. As you guys know, I did put it to a vote on what team you guys wanted me to use, and it was between the Miami Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts, the Chicago Bears, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I decided to take the poll down because I wanted to put the faith of the first team I choose for this Madden 17 and Madden connected franchise mode history in general, and the first team that'll be ever on my channel to do a full connected franchise mode in the fate of my own hands, and see what team I wanted to use that I would like to use, and I would make sure that I can have fun instead of putting it to a vote. And one of the teams that I didn't really want, maybe that was on the 4 scale instead of around the 2 or the 3, it would have been, I felt like, not as energetic as I could do it. So we are going to announce right now the Madden 17 connected franchise team that I will use for the Madden 17 year is the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins, as you guys know, are my favorite team in the NFL, and I thought, what better way to start off a channel than with your Miami Dolphins as the team you pick. Now, I say start off the channel as in the connected franchise mode. Like I said, this will only be on Saturdays and Sundays. I might also put it on Fridays. I have not yet decided, but you guys will end up finding out once I decide what to do with it. So we are going to get into the point blank situation of the team. So as you guys see, at the starting quarterback position, we still have Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is going into his 5th year as a Miami Dolphin quarterback, and we have to wonder what Adam Gase is going to do with Tannehill this year. You don't really know what's going to really happen with Tannehill and if he'll get traded after the year or even cut. So we'll have to see if Tannehill has a good year and what Adam Gase decides to do with him. Now, when it comes to the running back position, we have a fight between Arian Foster and Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi, you know, came out of Boise State last year in the 5th round, drafted by the Miami Dolphins, going into his 2nd year as a running back in the NFL, and Arian Foster going into his 8th year out of Tennessee. So we'll have to see what happens with Arian Foster and Jay Ajayi and who wins the running back battle for the Miami Dolphins. When it comes to the wide receiver position, we have Jarvis at the 1, Devontae Parker at the 2, and Kenny Stills at the 3. Now, you have to wonder if with the slot position that they might do a little bit mixing around, especially in the preseason. When it comes to our first preseason game against the New York Giants, when we are here broadcasting the game, you have to wonder if we'll be seeing some weird stuff from Adam Gase with the first team offense in terms of maybe playing Devontae at the 1 and Jarvis at the 2, or playing Jarvis at the slot, Devontae at the 1, and Kenny Stills at the 2, and what mix they bring up. And then it gets a little bit, I guess you could say, cloudy when it comes to the receivers behind them. You have Griff Whalen, Leonte Carroo, Jakeem Grant, and Matt Hazel. Now, Matt Hazel has shown some flashes in the preseason for the Miami Dolphins. He's been on our practice squads, and you have to wonder if Leonte Carroo or Matt Hazel could really win that spot from Griff Whalen. Since we haven't seen a lot of stuff out of Jakeem Grant, we've only seen him in practice. We'll have to see what he could do in the preseason. A lot of guys have been really hyping up Jakeem Grant, but we don't know what he could do just yet. We're hoping that he could use that electric speed he has to be one of the kick returners and punt returners for the Miami Dolphins. Now we're going to switch over to the defense for Adam Gase and mainly Vance Joseph. And what you guys see is a big hole for the Miami Dolphins at the cornerback position. You have to wonder if they'll make a trade anytime soon in the preseason, maybe before the preseason game against the New York Giants, and see what they can do to really improve their roster and make their roster better than what it could be. So we'll have to figure out what happens with that and see what the Miami Dolphins do at cornerback position, as they only right now have Byron Maxwell, Chris Culliver, Xavier Howard, Brandon Harris, and Bobby McCain. And those guys aren't a very great core of cornerbacks. So we'll have to see if the Miami Dolphins maybe trade for someone using some of their picks next year or even this year, or maybe sign some guys to take over that cornerback position. Now, when it comes to the defensive line, this defensive line is scary. You have Mario Williams, Ndamukong Suh, Earl Mitchell, and Cameron Wake, and that is a deadly starting defensive line. And you have to wonder if Cameron Wake is going to be a kind of third down specialist, or if he'll be that guy for you on a consistent basis to play those games. You do know he's coming off of an injury, and we'll have to see how Cameron Wake can really perform. Then it comes to the linebacker position, which is very, very, very shady in my opinion. You have Jelani Jenkins. He's a guy who gets injured, but when he's on the field, he's always producing. You have Neville Hewitt, a guy who's played very well for the Dolphins last year. After being signed onto the team, he made a very, very big impact in terms of some of the plays he made and obviously stood out to the coaching staff. And then you see we traded for Kiko Alonso, and he'll be that guy at the middle linebacker position, but you have to wonder if he'll stay healthy as well. You know he's a tackle machine, and he can intercept passes, so we'll have to see what goes on with Kiko Alonso. And then the one area which I think is a position where you have to wonder if Adam Gase for the Miami Dolphins might make a move and trade is Koa Misi at left outside linebacker. He's going into his 7th year. He'll turn 30 this year. And you have to wonder if maybe they'll trade him off for a different and younger piece that can come in and man that left outside linebacker position. He hasn't done much as a part of the Miami Dolphins, so they'll have to see, and we'll have to wonder what happens with Koa Misi. Now, the only other position I find that the Miami Dolphins and Adam Gase might have a struggle filling is the Isa Abdul-Qudus spot. Now, I've been a guy who has raved about Isa Abdul-Qudus, and we'll have to see what he can do in the preseason. You guys know we haven't seen anything out of Isa Abdul-Qudus yet, so you have to wonder what Adam Gase would like to do when it comes to Isa Abdul-Qudus. He's going into his 6th year out of Fordham, and so far he's been a tackling machine when it comes to what he did with the Detroit Lions. So we'll have to see what happens with our man Isa Abdul-Qudus, and that's about it. Guys, Adam Gase, we have to see what he does with this team. I hope you guys will enjoy this season as much as I will. And that'll be all from Samurai Radio.